The total amounts of deposits were $380,000. $11,000 of that went to service charged. We earned $1,600 in interest, and so our total amount distributed was $370,444.95. Page 3 is just the breakout of that distribution. Then page 4 is our chart that we've started doing. This is through the end of November, of our taxes that we've collected. Out of that, 15% of the taxes collected has been food and beverage, 23% has been lodging, and 62% has been retail and other businesses. The next few pages is the detail that goes behind that chart, is the data, just the different categories of where all the taxes were collected at. And if you'll go to page 13, this is our sales and use tax comparison sheet. On here, you'll see that in October, we collected $278,564.89, which was almost identical to what was collected in October of 2022. Then for November of 2023, our collection was $311,953. Over 22 was $301,000, which is an increase of $10,000. So as of the end of November, we were up 2.05% over the previous year, with a surplus of $58,000 more collected than we had collected in 22. Not on here is something that I wanted to make y'all aware of, because it's pretty exciting. We have our numbers for December. In December, what was collected in October, remitted to the state in November, and sent to us in December was $413,582.28. That's the most we have ever collected in a month for sales tax, ever. Ooh. So that's going to put us at about a 3.75 year-end average, where we're going to be up over 2022. So that's some exciting news. Page 14 is our sales use tax comparison chart, just to kind of show you in bar graph how we're going from month to month. So that's that. And then this next page, page 15, this is just the breakout of the tax that was collected in August, remitted in September, and paid to us in October. So that's just that additional information that, since we didn't go over it last month, it was a total of $330,696.83. $204,783.48 was received in our general fund. Streets received $48,657. Parks received $52,132, and once again, our bond payment $25,124.10. For the total remitted at $330,697.73. The next page, 16, is just the breakout there. You'll see that we collected $338,000, $10,000 in service fee, $1,400 in interest, for a total of $330,174.64. And then the next page is the breakout. And then the next few pages, 18 through 26, is just the detail behind that tax, of where all it came from. Do we have any questions on the sales tax so far? Nope? Okay. On page 27 is our revenue and expenditure report. This is through the end of November of 2023. At the time, we finished 92% of our fiscal year. At the bottom, you'll see we have brought in revenue of $12.2 million, and we have spent $12 million. Right now, we have a surplus of $205,000 versus our income versus our expenses. We're about 10%, but I don't think that's a realistic figure, mainly because we've changed some accounting ways. So I think it's more, the 82-83 is more in line than it looks like. So I don't think our revenue is really off that much. The next few pages is the detail that goes with that. So that's kind of the detail, if anybody has any questions about any of the detail. Okay. Page 50 is our capital expenditures. We have completed all of our capital expenditures for 2023, except for the Flushing trailer. That still hasn't come in yet, so it's being moved to the 2024 budget. So it's the only thing that was moved. Everything else has come in and been paid for. So that's pretty much completed for the 2023 capital expenditures. Then we have the next page is our comparative bank balances. I think this is a little bit misgiving. It's showing we have 6.69 or $6.6 million in there. But if you'll go up to 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 down, you'll see the clearing account has about $440,000 in there. It's because we have 2 or 3 pretty large checks that haven't cleared the bank yet. So there's quite a bit of money in our clearing account that normally is not there. So when those clear, that's going to drop that down. So it's going to come back in about the 6.1, 6.2 where we've been hovering. Next page, that just shows our total cash, kind of where we're at. And one thing we've talked about all year long is kind of monitoring this to make sure that we're paying our way and we're not burning through our cash. And I think this is a really good example to show that we're maintaining, we're using the money that we have coming in to run our day-to-day operations, and we're not burning through a lot of our cash that we have. So I think that's a real good chart to watch. And then the next one is just 22 over 23, kind of showing how the cash fluctuated in 23 and how it fluctuated in 22. And then the last page is just our long-term debt. We made our last payment in October. Our next payment will not be due until April, and that'll be an interest payment. We owe a little bit over $1 million on the sales and use tax bond, and our next big payment on that is not until October of 24. And that's the budget packet. I kind of went through it pretty quick, so if anybody has any questions about anything, let me know. So excited about our sales tax. I think that's amazing. I was telling Butch that I really hope we normally get our notice from the state on anywhere from the 22nd to the 25th. So I was hoping we would have our numbers today for what would have been November's collected in December and paid to us in January. To kind of, we can see how November and December fall out, but they didn't send it to us yet today, so it'll be our next budget meeting. I'll have that information. So it comes out anywhere from the 22nd to the 25th. So.
Any questions from anyone?
Good job.
Thank you.
I'm too cold to ask questions.
I understand that. I can get behind that.
Looking good.
Yeah.
All I gotta
I think
say.
we're managing our money really well. We're staying on top of things. We're trying to be frugal in buying things when we buy things. Last year we approved, I think it was $90,000 to buy 2 vehicles for Public Works. We shopped and ended up buying 3 within the 90. So, we've been really trying to do a lot of that stuff of not just going out and saying, hey, we need a new car. It's $50,000, buy it. It's what can we get? Maybe we might have to drive to Tulsa, or maybe we have to drive to Little Rock or something. But if we can get a better deal, let's do it. So we've been really trying hard on things like that to save as much money as we can and not make our money go as far as we possibly can. So, because we know we have some big things coming up. So,
Good job. Thank you, Michael.
thanks.
Okay.
Anybody have any questions on our current budget before we get into the,
Other than really, really good job on it. Very, to me, conservative but strong budget.
yeah, I think overall, the council did a good job, and all the department heads did real good
Oh, they
with
did. I'm really impressed with
keeping track of everything.
Billy Floyd.
Yeah,
Good choice.
yeah, I
And the
agree.
new fire chief. Good choice, too. I mean, I know he's been around for a while.
Yeah, we finally got our labor and hourly rates worked out with the fire department, which was always a struggle because they work on a different, they don't work on a 40-hour, 80-hour week. They've got,
I've never been able to understand how they work, but
yeah, I mean, it's 24 on, 48 off, and
Yeah.
you got to have 96, and then there's built-in overtime that we just can't get rid of. But I think the way we've got it set up now, we seem to have gotten a lot of that taken care of on there. So,
And to interject on that too, one of the other big things that we did there was there's so much of that was being just kept on paper and in people's heads, and let's call and do that. We got a system. We actually bought a computer system that is a timekeeping system that they now use, and I think that has really helped a lot because it shows them who can come in, who can't, that kind of stuff, and it helps track their hours. And I think that has been a really big cost-saving plus thing that the fire department did to help with all that overtime. So,
I think that, and also allowing and we did this, 4 or 5 years ago, was getting all the department heads access to their accounts on a daily basis. So they know immediately how much money they have to spend and where their laborers are, where there's, where they're going overtime. And so before I was mayor, they didn't have access. So every 30 days, when they get the reports, they go, oh my gosh, you mean I spent that much? Well, it's like having a checkbook without knowing what your balance is. You just keep writing checks, and it's too late by the time you find out what it is.
Yeah.
So I think that's, department heads have really appreciated that. And then along, like Michael said, getting this new accounting system helps, especially with the fire department. Well, if there's nothing else, we will stand adjourned for the city council meeting at 6 o'clock.